Good evening, everyone. My name's Alistair, and I've been asked to give the reflection this week. Rather than sort of prepare something in advance, as I've done the last few times with a nice slideshow with my face in a little corner, I thought this week I'd just do a bit of reflection. And over the last couple of days, I've been thinking a lot about young children, particularly toddlers. For those who don't know, Sabrina and I have two wonderful boys. We've got Ruben, who is 3, and we've got Noah, who is 11 months and just about to start walking. So both of them definitely know how to create trouble. Last week, I was at home by myself. We were blessed to be able to go over to Texas to spend Christmas and New Year with Sabrina's family. I then came back after the new year by myself for work and enjoyed a few short weeks of peace and quiet, not just from my two boys. I hope Sabrina doesn't watch this reflection. I guess I'll find out if she does. But yeah, this last weekend I travelled back to Texas to pick up Sabrina and the boys and bring them back. So over the last couple of days, I've seen firsthand how much work boys can be, especially at that age, or girls, just toddlers. They are so illogical. They need so much time. They almost live in their own little world. Ruben's recently learnt the meaning of why. Ruben, it's time for bed. Why? Because you need to sleep. Why? So you can grow big. Why? It's a difficult question to answer. It's a very philosophical question, but I don't believe a philosophical answer will sometimes suffice. But I feel every conversation seems to end up that way. Or Ruben is crying because he is missing me. I've been at work and he's not seen me for the last couple of weeks, and he knows I'm there, but then I'm not there for the day. But then I come home. I get a message from Sabrina saying, Ruben's really missing you. So I get home, and then Ruben goes and hides. He goes and hides. He doesn't want to be seen by me. And then maybe an hour later, go to put Ruben to bed, and he starts crying. No, he doesn't want Daddy to put him to bed. He wants Mummy to put him to bed, even though it's not Mummy's turn. There's just no logic. And it kind of gets me thinking, is that what God sometimes thinks of us? You know, are we sometimes to God acting like toddlers without realising it? And I then just think, wow, how does God do it? Seriously, like, how does he do it? You know, I think of us, like, we as humans repetitively sin. We are all sinners, and we do it again and again. And there's no logic to it. There's no sense to it. There's no reason to it. We can also quite often question God. Why am I suffering like this? Why is this happening? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? When actually, we know that he's got our best interests at heart. We know that he is working all things to the good of those who love him. We know that. But there's no logic. We still go through periods where we feel far from him, where we question him, where we wonder where he is. Why am I not feeling his presence right there? Makes me think of the series we just did on the fruit of the Spirit. The fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control. Those things are really hard to have as a parent of a toddler. But imagine, those are the characteristics of God. How amazing is it that he's got all those characteristics so that he is still those things despite us acting like toddlers in his eyes? It reminds me of the Israelites. They're In Egypt, they're in slavery. And then along comes Moses to rescue them. And he rescues them. He gets them out of the clutches of Pharaoh. And then the next thing, almost immediately, they're up against the Red Sea. And the people are complaining, Moses, what have you done? You've taken us out of the place we were safe in Egypt, and you've brought us here to die. What are you doing? And that's after they've witnessed all the miracles that God did to get them out of there. They didn't trust him. They lost sense or reason. So of course God, he parts the Red Sea. That's in Exodus 14. In Exodus 15, there's a wonderful song praising God, and then you get to Exodus 16, and they're hungry. The children of Israel said to Moses and Aaron, "Oh, that we had died by the hand of the Lord in the land of Egypt, when we sat by the pots of meat, and when we ate bread to the full. For you have brought us out into this wilderness to kill this whole assembly with hunger." How repetitive must God feel? And then after that, he sends prophet after prophet to remind his people who he is. And I think sometimes I'm banging my head against a brick wall with my toddlers. Wow. Thank God that he isn't like us and he's got that abundant patience. Thank God that he still loved us so much, as frustrating as we might have been, to send his son Jesus to die from us. It makes me think of the start of a Stuart Townend song, how deep the Father's love for us. How deep the Father's love for us, how vast beyond all measure, that he should give his only Son to make a wretch, us, his treasure. How great the pain of searing loss. The Father turns his face away, as wounds which mar the chosen one bring many sons to glory. So yeah, I guess over the next months and years, hopefully, when I'm wanting to bang my head against a brick wall with having the boys, that I just remember exactly that, how deep our Father's love for us.